But when they looked up at the sky, they found a break in the clouds.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the latest episode of Lads Debate. Becoming in, judging fully consular and the Yakuza is your only mate.
I ain't saying nothing.
What do I tell the doctor?
Tell him to go suck a lemon.
If none of you get that, you're an uncultured swine.
I'm glad you got it, otherwise it would have been awkward.
And coming in, rising from the Yakuza, is Shawnee.
It is time to cast judgment upon the Mafia, and then go for karaoke afterwards.
I need to eventually play that game eventually. I mean, because I remember going on with like Game Pass and just seeing how many was available, and I'm just like, maybe I should play one of these at some point. Who knows if Sean can impress me enough with Kiryu. By the way, the episode that we're doing is Kiryu Kazuma, one of those last names.
Kazuma Kiryu.
Yeah, versus Tommy Angelo from the Mafia series. But before we get to those two characters, holy balls, we had another close poll. Like I was really expecting, like, the last episode, it's like, okay, there's definitely going to be more for Yusuke over Squidward. Nope, this poll, I mean, it's different now from the time I'm recording this and the time I got this image. Yusaki Kitawaga, I'm pretty sure I said his name wrong so many times. He won by 59% vote, but Squidward was just behind with 41.
Damn.
I'm pretty sure at one point this poll was tied.
It was, every day I checked this poll, it was 50-50 until yesterday I finally saw him 59. Like, holy crap, how is it this episode is more even than freaking Peacemaker from the DCU versus MCU Punisher? Which I'm now,
Force exists, that's why.
which I'm now pissed about,
And
because
that's like-
season 2 of Peacemaker reveals that this Peacemaker's from the original DCEU, so he could have had the Superman scaling. Sorry, I'm not bitter.
But that also doesn't change the outcome that he had 3 charges of his technology.
Also, this is like back-to-back, like, debates I was doing that ended up being like a really close poll.
Yeah, like, it is absolutely, it's like, okay, if you were to tell me we would eventually do a Squidward episode that would be almost a tie in the poll, I'd be like, okay, yeah, sure. And, yeah, here we are. Somehow, SpongeBob characters are on par with Persona universe. We live in that timeline.
Because I make this joke, but it would only make sense if you played Persona 3 Reload. It's because the SpongeBob characters were disturbing the peace, that's why.
And then the 3 comments that we got from under this video. The first one from Starshock. Toon Force L, let's go. Come on, man, let's not be, toxic about the franchise losing. I try not to be spiteful. Funny enough, I didn't even read that next bit. I try not to be spiteful, but seeing something as overhyped and overdone as silly cartoon solo as your favourite first character getting knocked down a peg does my heart and soul a lot of good. I mean, on one hand, I can kind of understand that. I think, not just with Toon Force, just anything really. Like, I enjoy those videos. I'm not sure if you guys seen on TikTok or YouTube, where it's like, this character could beat Homelander. And it's been entertaining to see characters that could kick the ass of, like, a piece of like Homelander. But on the other hand, then you get those people who probably have those quote-unquote weak verses, where people just try and show why those characters get dogged on by other franchises, which is like, I can understand why that's an off point, like, the whole can SpongeBob beat Goku sort of vibe. It's like, when you have to rub in the fan base that SpongeBob could solo your universe or stuff like that, yeah, I can understand the toxicity of it.
Yeah. I also get the whole, like, seeing this, like, the thing be, like, knocked down a peg when it's, like, hyped up as, like, the most unstoppable thing ever. Like, I remember, like, back when Joker vs. Giorno was coming out, Robuscus, he is more familiar with JoJo and likes Giorno more but wanted him to lose because he thought Requiem Go Burr was a boring verdict.
But yeah, I can understand both sides. One, I don't like to be that sort of side of me that's like, you know, it's like, yeah, this verse solo's your one. On the other hand, it's like I can understand the annoyance of it. It's good when it's really fun, when it's like something obscure, like, hey guys, would you believe me if I told you the entire Mario roster could defeat all the 7 in the boys? Like, there's just something funny about imagining, like, Princess Peach kicking Homelander all the way to the moon. Oh no, I think that was Rosalina who did that in the song
I am
again.
down for seeing that.
I tell you what, I'm down for that as well. But when it's something like...
She can do it with just a hip bump.
But when it's something like, oh man, I really love Naruto. Hey, did you know Goku could solo his entire roster of characters? Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, but you don't have to rub it in my face. I get the concept. From RKO, I was surprised how close this is, but I will concede that I believe Yusuke wins more times over Squidward, plus Billy brought up the points more than I considered. Still one done making Z-Dog. Honestly, I was kind of just going by, like, Yusuke is just a clearly better fighter, where Squidward is your average Joe, just within a cartoon world. So it just made more sense, someone who's more capable of fighting over someone who has similar abilities, he's not a fighter. That's what it came down to for me.
It's also
That's
funny
fair.
because, like, as soon as you meet Yusuke, he's like, yeah, I know how to use a sword. Yes, I know how to use a gun. He didn't need to be taught it at all. He just, like, knew.
Yeah, and, you know, I know the whole clarinet
Pretty
thing.
much.
I know the clarinet thing is kind of broken when it's used, but how many times has that thing backfired on Squidward? It's like...
way too many to count.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of saying, hey, this man could use a gun, but there's lightly a 50-50 chance that it'll explode the moment he pulls the trigger. It's like, it's not that reliable then. And then final comment from Yang the Insane. Good effort, Z-Dog, but I too am sold on my boy Yusuke taking this. Better weapons, more abilities to subdue Squidward's Toon Force, and overall deadly arsenal. That's the vibe I also kind of got. I will admit, I don't think Squidward's Toon Force is as broken as someone like SpongeBob's, Popeyes, or even some half the Looney Tunes characters.
Yeah, his is more like survivability.
Yeah, like there's been so many episodes where he gets hurt and he's out of commission for the whole day.
But then there's ones where he gets hurt and then he's like, up moments later, perfectly fine.
It's very inconsistent. I mean,
I
there's
can see that this debate was worth the long wait, though, at the end of the day.
yeah, which is good to see. Although speaking of lads debate that we're excited to talk about, this is one we talked about, I think when we were in the middle of our first season, like, because I got to the point I finished. Yeah, because I finished with the Deadliest Warrior Season 1, and the Yakuza versus Mafia episode was really good. And I was just like, you know what? Let me try and find Yakuza characters that Sean's familiar with, and I want to bring Tommy Angelo from the Mafia series. And, hey, I typed in Yakuza character, and guess who was the first one that appeared?
Oh, yeah. And you know what's funny? When Bill suggested Tommy at first, before Tommy's remaster came out.
Exactly. And it got added to Game Pass. It's like, you could not time this.
I played the Mafia remaster. I understand why it is an underrated gem.
It is a really good game. The second game is really good as well. Third one is alright. Feels more like a Punisher game than a Mafia game. And funny enough, as soon as we announced this lads debate, a new Mafia game's coming out. A prequel. The old country.
Comes out this year.
Yep. Just, sure, why not? But given the character who's going to be representing at the start of this video, Sean, do you want to go over the legendary Yakuza gangster Kiryu? Because let's be real, his first name in the title is going to bring more views.
Alright, it's time to talk about the Dragon of Dojima.
Let's do this.
I'm just waiting for Mate to be ready whenever ready.
Getting the timer now. Was not realized we were waiting on me. How long am I setting this for? Like 10 minutes?
10 minutes on the analysis and story, and then 15
and then 20 minutes on the debate.
Yeah. Or maybe shorter,
Right.
depending on if we feel as though we've made an argument, basically. Let's be real here. How we do lads timing is pretty much whatever the feel like.
basically. So yeah, I am judging this one. I finally get to take a break.
Yay! When do I get a break? Looks at list. Eventually!
Stay tuned.
I mean, after I had to do Link and a JRPG character.
Okay, that is a valid point. And
Right.
go ahead.
Are you ready, Sean?
Yes, sir.
And go.
I think we can agree Japan has some pretty awesome stuff. From its time with animes to its wondrous advances in technology. So early on, especially in the 1940s, everyone hated Japan, and for good reason. After the Second World War, life in Japan wasn't exactly ideal. An infamous gang started to rise up with different families, the Yakuza, dividing the different families around Japan. 1968, there was this man named Shintaro Kazuma, who accidentally killed some families that weren't supposed to be slaughtered, obviously. However, out of guilt, he took in an innocent boy to Sunflower Orphanage to raise him properly, alongside people that would become his eventual brothers. This young boy that Kazuma Shintaro adopted is our protagonist, Kiryu Kazuma. And let me just put in this real quick. As soon as Discord will let me. There you go.
Hey!
Custom font too, mother truckers.
Thank you for keeping my
Kiryu
videos PG.
Kiryu is an interesting story to talk about. When he was 12, he decided to get involved with the Yakuza kind of indirectly. See, worried about Shintaro one day when Shintaro was meeting with the Jingwon Mafia, which is a Korean-based mafia. And well, due to a misinterpretation thinking that Kiryu was one of Shintaro's men, Shintaro kind of killed the heads up at the Jingwon Mafia.
Oops.
As time went on. To be fair, he did it to protect Kiryu. He didn't want Kiryu to suffer a fate due to a misconception. And as they grew up, both Kiryu and his adopted brother, Nishiki, decided that they wanted to join the Yakuza. Kiryu's reasons being the following quotes, saying that he not only idolized Shintaro, but orphans should have the right to dream too. Orphans deserve to dream too. After a lot of hesitation, Shintaro decided to both induct Nishiki and Kiryu into the Dojima family. At first, you start in Yakuza, it's based off a hierarchy system. Prove that you're capable of rising through the ranks. Kiryu just started as a low-ranking member at first. Normally, the first job was doing debt collecting. But as time rolls on, not only did Kiryu learn how to fight in the Yakuza to prove he can hold his own, but he rose through the ranks, eventually becoming a lieutenant of the Dojima family. And well, you need quite a few things to help you out, specifically martial arts. And Kiryu has a variety of different martial arts that combine a bit of karate as well as kung fu, but he's able to simplify it down into styles. Few styles are some of the most dangerous ones that you can come across. Roller style being the jack of all trades. Focuses on speed and defense, and B style is basically the Kanji Tatsumi style where you can take a bicycle and hit someone with it as hard as you can.
Okay. Oh, pause time, as I want to make this joke, mate.
Hey, paused.
I'm just disappointed we didn't do CJ versus Kiryu now, because we could have had a moment he just hits, about to hit with a bicycle, CJ just goes, ah, shit, here we go again. Dante would be proud. Anyway, resume.
At least for a little bit.
And go.
It was at this time, Lieutenant, there was a job that went wrong with Kiryu. See, you remember Nishiki? Yeah, Nishiki accidentally killed someone else that he wasn't supposed to. And well, the police were on the trail. So what do brothers normally do for their siblings? They protect them to the best they can. And Kiryu was the guy who took the fall and was sent to jail, all to protect his brother Nishiki. If you don't have a good brother like that, I don't know what else to tell you, other than be nicer to your siblings. Though after 10 years, Kiryu was eventually released, partially due to Shintaro wanting Kiryu out of there. During the events of Yakuza Kimiwa, which takes place in 1995 to 2005, Kiryu eventually learned the truth after events went wrong and Shintaro died. See, that's when Kiryu learned that Shintaro was the one who caused his parents to die. But the crazy thing is, Kiryu was not mad at Shintaro, nor did he resent or get angry at him, even though it was justifiably so. Deep down, he still cared. Deep down, he was still family. Really, he had to do the unthinkable and fight his adopted brother Nishiki, because Nishiki wanted glory for himself and had greater ambitions. And this happened when they were fighting Jingu, and while Kiryu eventually beat Jingu and Nishiki, Jingu wasn't really dead and was about to kill Kiryu. So Nishiki did the brotherly thing right back, sacrificing himself so Kiryu could live on and not forgive the one thing he said: orphans deserve to dream too.
Damn, this is not what I expected from a game that has karaoke and like over-the-top fighting.
Well, there's a little bit more than meets the eye. Years down the line, Kiryu tried to become a person, and then, of course, he was found by a secret agency. That's why, as you see in the style tribe, he learned a new style, agent style. The agents were allowed to give Kiryu a bunch of different gadgets, from his spider to his hornet to serpent and firefly gadgets. Make sure that the Yakuza stayed disbanded during the events of Yakuza Like a Dragon, where Kiryu would eventually run into Ichiban. And let's just say, you can understand why Ichiban would be scared, seeing some of the simple feats that Kiryu has. By the way, this scene in the game was so f***ing epic. To fight Kiryu as a boss. Kiryu's done some crazy things. They take on Joe Amon, defeated his best friend / rival in Goro Majima. Was able to be not just Ichiban, but all of Ichiban's crew. He's dodged shotguns at point-blank range, deflected Uzi bullets with his hand, and with his heat style, it allows him to slow down the perception of time. Though it's not the most absurd things you see in Yakuza, because Yakuza can get really, really wacky. Like, how about the time Kiryu just did this?
I'm sorry, what?
Yep. With one punch, he's just like, screw you, tiger. Or how about the time he was able to avoid minigun fire?
Uh-huh. Okay.
And if that's not crazy enough, there was also times that Kiryu was able to beat both a giant octopus and a shark with a harpoon. This is from the latest game, which takes place in Hawaii.
Oh, I've seen gameplay of that. It looks so good. I'm like... similar to Delta, and I eventually got to play these games. They look so fun.
Oh. I remember Ichiban and his crew. Well, Ichiban and his crew can do some absurd things. Namba able to spit out a fire vortex or summon a tornado of pigeons. He survives it. Or I'll show a clip later of the most absurd thing from Adachi. No, mate, it's a different Adachi, not the Persona 4 one.
I gathered.
So it's funny because they were both police officers, though.
Oh.
I'm not even kidding.
What are the odds of that?
In life, Kiryu just wanted... He thought he deserved to dream, despite not having the right family to do it. Through loss and pain, he was able to show Ichiban that there is a future without the gang life. And even so, to conquer one more thing, to beat one thing not many others can beat. Here's for the game in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, we can all agree, go f*** cancer.
Yeah.
Kiryu has it.
Aww.
not gonna give up. He's gonna get the treatment, and with a little bit of luck and persistence, in the Yakuza way, Kiryu's gonna punch the cancer like he did the tiger.
I believe it.
Still, you see a man in a white suit and red shirt, it's best to make sure you didn't do anything wrong. Otherwise, the Dragon of Dojima will prey upon you and just knock your lights out. Because at the end of the day, judgment has been cast, and you are guilty.
That's a good one to end on.
Nice.
Alrighty. I will pass it to Bill.
Yeah, let's do this.
Good luck.
Alright, you ready, Bill?
I am ready.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
The year was 1920 in Chicago. America has recently come out of World War I. I'm noticing a pattern here. A great war that led to the deaths of millions of men and boys. Yes, boys as well. Many youngsters were drafted. Of course, due to the Migration Act as well, many people were allowed to go towards, well, the good old country of America. After World War I, many of the Allies were given the opportunity to live the American dream after World War I, and hopefully America will never see such tragedies again. One lucky individual, a young boy from Sicily, would eventually move to America with his family, where they got jobs at construction sites, factories, and all the great stuff. Eventually, this boy would be Thomas Angelo. And I guess I might as well also show this. When it loads.
I know the feeling.
There, mate. Are you happy now?
Ooh. Oh, I like the font.
Yeah, it's in Italia.
Nice. It's a nice touch.
Yeah. And Thomas managed to finally get a job in the country of opportunity as a cab driver. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad job per se. However, it's very inconsistent with your income, and he wasn't exactly living a rich, full life, literally and figuratively. Until one day, whether it's by bad luck or good luck, he would meet Paulie and Sammy, two mobsters under the Don Saleri family. And during a heist that nearly backfired on them, leaving them to get shot, Tommy was hijacked, and he got these guys out of the city to their little local bar. And now, these mobsters were so impressed by Tommy's, amazing driving skills, they decided to reward him enough money to not only pay for the damages on the cab, but buy a whole new cab car. Which, hey, you know what? He managed to hit it big. Sadly, this is the mobster life. Unfortunately, the people that Paulie and Sammy robbed found out who their driver was, smashed up his car, and even smacked him around with a few baseball bats. Tommy, with nowhere to go, fled to the bar he found the mobsters in, to which he would meet Don Saleri. And he was going to offer him a chance to pay for the damages of his cab car. Tommy, though, did not want that. He wanted to get back at the that smashed up his car. And boy did he! He straight up smacked a few baseball bats, a bit of cathartic justice, and burnt their garage to the ground with Molotovs.
So I just want to pause the timer and make this joke.
Sure.
Is this guy John Wick but with a cab instead of a dog?
Just insert badass music, nightclub music when he's beating them up. It was just a cab. That f***ing cab belonged to Thomas Angelo. Just let me know when you resume, Tyler.
Resuming now.
Saleri was so impressed with Tommy's actions, he actually made him an official member of the family. Yeah, and the mobster life with a lot of crime families, you'd have to go through so much just to be considered a member of the family. But not Tommy. Tommy was so inspiring to both getting his minions out of a situation that Saleri just made him an official member of the family. And Saleri seemed like an honourable man. Yes, he was a criminal, he killed people, but he always had one rule: no dope. Crime during the 1920s to 30s, drugs were being snuck into America through cartels or anything you can imagine. Saleri wanted none of it. It doesn't matter how much money he was making, he didn't want it. Eventually though, as many mobsters wanted more power, Saleri seemed weak, and his rival that used to be his best friend, Morello, decided he wanted him out. He wanted to control the entire city, and Saleri was just old-fashioned. He barely had any goons, he barely had anything. That was until he finally brought Tommy into the ring, and Tommy single-handedly ended a mafia war. And boy, did he have the arsenal to do it. Efficient hand-to-hand combat despite no prior training, skilled driver, and was Saleri's best assassin when it came to doing like jobs. And in terms of weapons, we're talking baseball bats, pocket knives, semi-automatic pistols, revolvers, pump-action shotguns, I forgot to add this here, but sawn-off shotguns, and Molotov cocktails, sniper rifle Springfields, and grenades, as well as first aid kits to heal those little minor wounds. And I say minor wounds, I mean like gunshot wounds. But of course, he has his signature Tommy gun. Yes, the fact they never make a joke about the fact that he uses a Tommy gun, his name's Tommy, was... Mafia, you had everything almost perfect, but not that one moment.
You were on the edge of greatness. You were this close.
Oh, to be fair, if they just said that, it just would have been Tommy with his finger guns. Like in the... I think it was Dead Space that did something similar.
That's true. And Tommy was doing really well for himself. He even managed to score a beautiful wife named Sarah. And after many horrible encounters, he had to do unspeakable things to try and win this war against another mob family, accidentally killing an innocent woman who happened to be the wife of someone he rigged a bomb. Like, he rigged a car to explode to kill this gangster lieutenant called Lucky. I'm not even kidding. That guy was so lucky though, his wife accidentally triggered the car, and that exploded in Tommy's face as well as killing the wife. This broke Tommy. Despite wanting to impress his friends and his boss, doing all sorts of things, it traumatized him. He killed an innocent bystander. Most of the people he killed were crackheads, rapists, murderers, biker gangs. To him, that was just something he crossed the line. After the war though, things seemed like they were back to normal. Saleri was gaining more ground. After Morello was dead, they decided they were going back to their normal shtick. And they thought they'd do a simple side job, such as robbing, some cigars from Cuba. Saleri, though, tricked them. Inside the box of cigars was dope. Yep. After not wanting to tackle that sort of thing, he finally saw that there was a lot of money in the drug business. Tommy and his friend Paulie wanted out. And I forgot to show this, I'll quickly put the feats here as well if you want to have a read of those. Tommy finally had enough. He decided it was time to get out of the crime family. Him and Paulie would stage a bank heist, which they didn't even prepare for properly. They kind of just winged it, and yet they managed to get away with it. At least so they thought. Again, this is the Mafia. Eventually, Saleri found out about Tommy and put a hit on him, and Tommy managed to evade the assassins, but he knew he was never getting out of this life. Unless he do one thing that you never do in a mob family. Ratted out your organization. To protect his wife and daughter, he did the thing that he thought was best. They would go under new names, move to New York, and Saleri's crime organization was done. And Tommy, he had to go down as well as arresting all his crooked friends and stuff like that. Paulie was dead. He had to kill his best friend Sammy. 2 people he saved on that lucky or unlucky night. He did his time for 8 years, and then around the 1940s, after World War II, his daughter got married. Everything seemed like it was finally going his way. Until Saleri...
There it is.
Saleri sent his final regards. The main character of Mafia 2, Vito Scaletta, was given a hit job. He arrived at Tommy's new house, and despite having a new name, he simply said, Mr. Angelo. Tommy realised there was no getting out of this. Saleri may have been in prison. It didn't matter. Tommy, realising his end was near, turned around to look in the eyes who would inevitably share the same fate as him, and he just simply said, yes. Vito uttered the words, Salieri sends his regards. And a double-barrel shotgun is what finished Tommy off. Vito and Joel just ended the life of perhaps one of the best gangsters in Chicago. And even though Vito and Joel would eventually suffer the same fate as Tommy in the future, there was something though that Tommy had that none of those characters had. In his last moments, Sarah, his daughter, ran to him as he was bleeding to death. And Tommy, knowing that his family were fully safe, he managed to die surrounded by his true family. The crime families would eventually go to prison, they would die alone. Tommy though, died surrounded by people he loved. And in the way, isn't that what a true family is? Those that are always there for you. And I think that's a good point I want to leave it on.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, regardless if I lose or win this, I at least wanted to give Tommy like the respect he deserves. Because man, he was a Chad.
Man, you did great, dude.
Yeah. And yeah, I was actually at first I thought this was kind of frustrating doing these font things, but I won't lie, it did actually make catching notes a lot simpler. Because now if I forget things, I can simply look into my thing. So who knows? Maybe I'll make this a reoccurring thing.
Yeah, I decided just to do like a custom background for mine just to be different, and also because I just really want to talk about Kiryu.
Yeah. So do you know what, mate? I apologise for making fun of you for doing this. It was actually kind of fun making these.
It's catching on. Excellent.
Soon I will control the
In one of
lads.
our server debates, someone did that, man.
Hey, you know
Oh
what?
yeah, true. And Z-Dog did it.
Hey, you know what? Yeah. So do you know what? We had to up our game.
Yeah, I would say you upped it because of the font style.
Yeah, I thought I didn't want to just use basic fonts. I just went for the Italia because you know he's an Italian mobster. Makes sense.
Yeah, it does. That was a nice touch.
So,
you guys ready to argue?
oh, I am indeed.
Okay.
Setting the time for 20 minutes. And fight!
Is that just going to be a thing we always do now? So I've noticed we've done that back-to-back episodes.
I don't know.
Might just be a made thing, who knows?
No, because I did it as well. Anyway,
I don't know.
Sean, since it's your character in the first part of the thumbnail, why don't you go first?
So I want to address something because, like, I know some people are going to say, like, should Tommy have the advantage due to having guns? The answer is no. Kiryu has used guns before. It is a personal preference that he doesn't use guns, however. But he has wielded weapons before, which include a sniper rifle, handguns, an anti-tank missile, grenades, just to name a few.
Well, okay, but those are circumstantial. That's like saying Obi-Wan should be allowed to use guns because he's used Mandalorian guns and droid guns. It's like, they're not part of his true arsenal, though. Is he? In fact, I even looked this up as well to be sure about this. He has a strict rule about not using guns.
Yeah, it's a personal preference.
Well, Tommy doesn't take that. He thinks you should always have a gun as a personal preference. And now, it's not clear whether Tommy served during World War II. It's very likely that he might have just been underage, he didn't need to. Saying that though, he was trained by people who did serve in the military, and yeah, he's official with guns, including, didn't have enough room to put it in the notes, but when Sammy was going to have him executed, 3 guys surrounded him, they all had their guns on him, he disarmed one of them, and killed all 3 of them before they could even shoot. They weren't like reaching for their guns, no, they were aiming at him. And Tommy straight up went John Wick, went bam, 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 and killed, I even counted the body count, 50 other guys that surrounded him. With just armed with a pistol. He didn't have his Tommy gun, his shotgun, he had to improvise, which, as you see in my little feats thing, or I think, yeah, he improvises pretty much like most of the time.
Kiryu, I don't think he does that too, but it's a lot more with the environment, or in one of the games, like, there's a compilation you can find of Kiryu just wielding any sort of weapon he can find. The funniest ones can be leeks, ramen, or even a purse. there's a lot of funny interactions, but both of these guys can use their environment and improvise on the fly, like ridiculously easily.
Oh yeah, like in fact,
One of the most brutal ones that's happened once
Sure.
was when Kiryu put someone's head in a microwave and then microwaved it.
did I kill
I
the
think
guy?
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, that killed somebody.
Yeah, I always thought Kiryu was kind of one of those people that didn't kill. Like, you know, he's killed people, but he always tries to make it a rule not to kill people.
It's like Batman, okay?
It's whatever it feels
The
like.
best way I can Plus, like, even without guns, there's also just the gadgets that Kiryu has from his Asian style, which Tommy's definitely not going to expect.
No, I'll give you that. You know, he's not going to expect gadgets. However, Tommy...
What sort of gadgets are those?
There's the Spider, which is a wristwatch which is able to shoot ultra-thin wires. The Hornet is multiple AI-piloted drones.
Oh.
Firefly gives him a bomb which is disguised as a cigarette but packs as much punch as a regular hand grenade. And there's Serpent, which gives Kiryu hidden jets in his shoes.
Okay, that does sound pretty epic.
Is he
Okay,
a Japanese James Bond?
he sounds like it.
As of the later games, yeah, because he partnered up with the Daizoji faction.
Huh. Oh my god, we're doing James Bond versus John Wick.
Oh my god, we are.
Yeah.
Okay, but unlike that death battle, though, I'm assuming you were resuming time, mate, right?
Oh, I never paused it.
Oh.
Well, it's fine. It's fine.
Like, okay, yeah, the gadgets are cool and everything, and you say, you know, the drones pack as much as a grenade when exploded. Tommy survived a point-blank explosion from a C4, and C4 is strong enough to...
Kiryu has survived a point-blank explosion from a RPG rocket launcher.
Yeah, and to be fair though, both are actually comparable because both can bust through the hull of like a giant cruise ship.
Or, you can pause the timer to watch this. Kiryu has also survived basically what the comments in this video are calling Adachi going Sonic mode. With Adachi's signature maneuver, Essence of Hell's Wheel. This is from game number 7.
What is this?
It's when things get really wacky.
What the hell?
This game's fantastic. I need to play it.
This is Yakuza 7. The same
What
game.
in the hell?
Like, okay, crazy feats like that aside.
What?
I'll wait for mate to resume.
What the fuck?
Oh, mate, there's a lot more I can show you.
What were these writers and animators on?
The rule of cool, mate. That's what they're on.
Same people behind Sonic, people.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, actually, now that I say it out loud, yeah, that actually does make sense. Anyway, I'm assuming we shall
Kiryu
resume
also
timer.
Shall I resume timer?
Well, yeah, Bill can go on his phone while I bring up the Kiryu one he has, which is pretty dope as well.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, gadgets and stuff like that are cool, but I feel as though Tommy can not only dodge these things, as he has to dodge gunfire most of the time. Keep in mind, he was pretty much the sole reason, like, his faction won the crime war, like the mob war. Like, during the war, there was only, like, 2 random henchmen, Paulie, Sammy, and Tommy. Tommy carried most of the war. It went on for, like, a whole year, and Tommy came out on top against, like, hundreds of Solari's men, Morello's men. Even to the point he was shooting down an aeroplane as it was taken off with a Tommy gun. And a Tommy gun is surprisingly not an accurate machine gun. It's modified from the Thompson machine gun. I know, how original. And can even fire armor-piercing rounds. The modification to the Tommy gun was made to be more like useful at close range combat, as well as like going through like armored vehicles. Hence why, at one point, as I put in his feats, he was at one point having to fight a police tank. Like, to give in mind, like, police were allowed to have these type of vehicles if they were doing a very serious raid, because surprisingly during the 30s and 20s there was a big rise in organised crime. So the military actually funded them to have tanks. And he was able to fire through the armour and kill the driver. Keep in mind, these tanks were used in World War One to survive bombs and explosives.
You know, that would be great if Tommy could actually, you know, damage Kiryu of anything. But the Tommy gun is actually a slower fire gun than the Uzi. And as we stated in his feats, Kiryu was able to block Uzi bullets with his bare hands. And that's not even counting with Rush Style, which can already increase Kiryu's speed, as well as the Jet Boots, or even Dragon Spirit, or Dragon Resurgence, which makes them completely invulnerable to damage.
Yeah, these do sound like they only last for a bit. Keep in mind as well, Kiryu does fight with a little bit of honor though. Tommy does not. He will fight dirty. He'll light you on fire. He'll shoot your legs.
30 people before, my guy. Literally, in the Like a Dragon game, there is a class called the Matriarch, and the characters in that can wield freaking assault rifles and machine guns, so it's nothing Kiryu hasn't gone up against.
True, but how often is he in a gunfight? Tommy is frequently in gunfights every single day.
A bit.
And also keep in mind, how Tommy also fights, he always looks for the element of surprise. He'll fight dirty, throw a Molotov to hit you with fire, then hide somewhere and ambush you with his pocket knife. And he's even gone up against the FBI. During when one of the top Larry's men tried to backstab him, Tommy had to shoot through an entire airport. Seriously, how the hell did this guy get away with killing so many FBI agents? Open world video game logic. But yeah.
Speaking of close range, Bill, that's where Tommy gets utterly eviscerated, and it's not even funny. Kiryu is a far superior close range fighter. Hell, like when he fought against Goro Majima, who has dodged lightning in the past. And in also Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon, he has an attack where he can also just throw lightning at people as well.
Okay, are you sure this game is the same one we were talking about?
Yeah, Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon, it's an ability Majima gets when Ichiban unlocks the Pound Mates feature after Ichiban defeats Majima.
I'm just saying the story sounds very grounded, very serious, and then you have guys freaking doing the freaking lightning rod from Dark Souls.
Again, Yakuza 7's different.
It's just built
but it's
different.
a lot of fun.
Game developers, it's just programmed differently.
Even then, Kiryu has a bunch of different styles he can just switch to on the fly to make it extremely unpredictable for Tommy to handle. And again, with Dragon Resurgence, he can just be like, screw your gun, screw your turn, I'm going to beat the ever-loving crap out of you and just take 0 damage while I do it. Hell, he's even tanked kills before. Whereas, what happened to Tommy when he got hit with a shotgun? He died.
He was like 50 years old, man.
So was Kiryu, he's 57!
Wait, really?
Look at his background.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's a few years older.
Okay, old man Kiryu could definitely be old man Tommy, but when look at that Tommy at his prime. Like, keep in mind, the body count, yes, I did count how many people I killed, minus a few innocent people I accidentally ran over, don't ask me. It was definitely accidental, I swear. Yeah, Tommy kills a total of 327 gangsters. I counted only, like, the main story missions, and only the goons that attack you. Unless there was a forced stealth segment, I was like, alright, let's be fair, this is a stealth segment. Tommy's not going around killing people, he's trying to be stealthy.
You know what Tommy won't survive? One of Kiryu's most deadly attacks, the Essence of Remembrance. For some reason, it's like, it has music already installed, so you can probably mute the video or put in your own music. But the Essence of Remembrance...
I'm gonna pause the timer as I watch this.
Same here.
I'll admit, I was expecting something a bit more over the top.
I mean, I will admit, yeah, compared to the previous thing that you showed Sean, this one's actually kind of tamed.
Yeah, it's just powerful punches and one kick.
Also, all signature attacks of different members of Kiryu's adopted family. Like, for example, when you see the koi fish, that's actually Nishiki's signature attack.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Anyway,
Yeah, it was cool.
And, well, as you saw at the end of the clip, that guy just died.
So is that like an... I'm going to resume the timer real quick.
Same here.
So is that an instant kill move?
Pretty much.
Okay, that's assuming this would even be able to hit Tommy. Now, here's the thing as well, that Tommy also has cars. And at one point, he somehow has the car that would only be invented in the 1950s. Don't ask.
Model T.
Yeah, obviously I'm not including that because that's clearly a definitive edition bonus. Because somehow he also has Vito. Yeah, because somehow he also has Vito Skelet's jacket, which is like, that doesn't make any sense. But
okay, game companies, why do you give exclusive stuff to definitive editions, man? What the f?
But that
to entice people to buy them.
Exactly. But looking at like the main, I counted vehicles that he gains like, naturally, not stuff that you could just, get in the open world. Like he has his own car, he has his own motorbike, which I'm still questioning whether they were around in the 20s. Someone could confirm that for me. And yeah, what's exactly stopping Tommy from just being like, you know what? Clearly hand to hand's not working. Let me just get on my motorbike and get a safe distance and just start charging forward, just firing at you, or just simply sniping him.
Because Tommy's not going to be able to hit Kiryu. Kiryu's just way too fast for him. And even then, Kiryu is also a really good marksman. There are times he's been able to shoot things like rockets and grenades out of the air.
True, but
also Sean said he has a sniper as well.
He does have a sniper.
Does he carry that on him though, or is that just one of those circumstances?
Again, he still would have it, Bill. We're giving it to him.
I don't think we should include it because a lot of Tommy's guns he has on him. Kiryu just circumstances, but you know what? Fair enough.
As for Tommy's stealth, yeah, that wouldn't work. Kiryu's been able to avoid attacks from the likes of assassins and ninjas, so Tommy's not getting a jump on Kiryu.
Hey, Tommy survived similar things. Keep in mind, this guy also managed to evade the entire police force, when he robbed a bank with Paulie, when they didn't even have a plan. They didn't have a plan, and they just improvised on the spot.
Both of these guys are just really good at improvising. I think we can definitely agree on that.
Yeah, and you know what?
Yeah.
We'll argue the techniques. If they hit Tommy, they're deadly. But one, Tommy's managed to survive point-blank explosions before, and he's managed to hit aeroplanes out of the air with a Tommy gun, a gun that's not accurate at all, and yet he's still managed to do it. And when it comes to car skills as well, he's clearly the better driver. Sure, even if Kiryu can even dodge the cars, I'm pretty sure a car coming at him at 30 miles per hour would definitely kill him.
He survived hit by a speeding car before.
Okay, fair enough on that. But even then, Tommy fights dirty. That's the main thing that I think is going to play a big factor in this fight. Kiryu is going to fight relatively more fairer, and Tommy is just going to use that to his advantage. He's also a quick thinker on the spot. A lot of times when he would have a simple job. Many missions in Mafia pretty much have this rule. It will start off going smoothly, escalate, you have to fight 50 guys. And Tommy's gotten out of those situations. He's been outnumbered, outgunned. Well, maybe not outgunned, but he's definitely had the odds against him, and he comes through just fine. And including a Molotov as well. All he has to do is just throw a Molotov at Kiryu. I don't think Kiryu can survive being on fire.
He has taken attacks while being on fire before. Remember Namba? How he threw a giant fire tornado at him in one of his signature attacks? Yeah, Kiryu can definitely tank it.
I feel as
And
though
there's also...
smoldering fire on flesh is definitely not going to be a major factor in this.
I think one of the things that I think that also just give Kiryu the advantage is just the discipline and the experience. It's all gun-ho most of the damn time when it comes to combat and Mafia. Meanwhile, Kiryu has been able to take his time and just been able to outwit his opponents when the odds have ever been stacked against him.
Tommy's done the exact same thing. He's one of... keep in mind, he impressed one of the mob family so much, they made him a member on the spot. Keep in mind, the Mafia you have to go through a rite of passage. The moment you enter or get hired by the mob, you're an outsider to them. You have to go through 7 tiers, and yes, I only know this thanks to Godfather, fantastic film, before you can even be considered a consigliere. Tommy, though, impressed him so much.
Kiryu wasn't inducted into the Yakuza when he was freaking 12.
Yeah, hey, do you know what? I'm pretty sure if Soleri found Tommy sooner, he would have done the exact same thing. That's how the mob families work. They groom children into working to be their henchmen. It's a... Crime syndicates are pieces of shit.
Like that, though.
Yeah.
Like, in general.
Yeah. Let's just quickly say this, people. Just because we're hyping up these characters, we don't support the organizations they come from. Those guys.
Yeah.
But
Hey, how much time we got?
Like 4 minutes, 30 seconds.
yeah, to be honest, I'm actually kind of thinking we've almost set up peace with both these characters, so should we just go down to our last minute of representing these characters and make him give his result?
Yeah, sure. A minute each.
Yeah.
I guess we'll start with Sean.
Okay.
Convince us why Kiryu wins. Go.
Kiryu easily dominates Tommy in close-range quarters combat. He also can survive every single thing in Tommy's arsenal, whether it just be through his own stuff or with stuff like Dragon Resemblance or Resurgence. He also has a massive variety of improvising. He also does have some firearms, and with his different essence abilities, like the Essence of Remembrance, Tommy's going to not be able to survive that. Overall, Kiryu's speed, durability, close combatness, and unexpected gadgets is just enough to carry the Dragon of Dojima through the Mafia. And pray that Tommy stands a better chance in the poll bill. That's all I can say.
Is that how you want to end it?
Yep.
Okay. Alright. Bill, you ready?
Eyes ready.
Now convince me why Tommy wins. Go.
Okay, yeah, don't get me wrong, Kiryu might just come out with the edge of close quarters combat, but Tommy has a much wider of arsenal of guns. Like, sure, Kiryu might be able to dodge bullets, but what's stopping Tommy from just simply improvising a new strategy? Lighting him on fire, throwing a grenade down to him, throwing a knife at him, freaking just getting a car and just ramming into him. Even if the car doesn't kill him, Tommy will probably have enough time to finish him off with either a Tommy gun, shotgun, anything in between. Plus, his improvisation and just dominance in the battlefield clearly showed why Soleri's crime family managed to win this war. Like, Morello would meet, or Kiryu would meet the same fate as Morello, burnt to the crisp on the floor, with Tommy walking over, saying saloon, and frickin' loading him with lead. So, Kiryu, you may be able to outpunch him, you're not gonna outgun this Mafio. And that's how I'll end mine.
Okay. Now, before I give my verdict, I have one thing I gotta ask because it wasn't ever made clear. Sean, does Kiryu have like some form of self-healing?
Yakuza, you can buy items that can heal you. Yes.
Same with the Mafia.
Okay, so it's not something he just like inherently like has.
He does in the boss fight, but I don't think you could really count that.
Huh, okay.
Tommy also has healing items.
Alright, so I think I have my verdict. It sounds like they have like very similar like arsenals when it comes to like, you know, weapons, but well, Tommy's like being slightly more varied. But they have like a lot of similar things like rifles, guns, explosives, and both are really good at improvising and whatnot, so I guess neither can really rely on that to pull them through. Now, Kiryu is definitely the best like hand-to-hand fighter, so if he gets in close, then I could see it going his way fairly easily, especially considering he can like just reflect bullets with just his hand. Tommy's dodge gunfire too, so you could say they're comparable in speed, but Sean brought up that like comparison of who was it again? Yeah, who dodged lightning, which is a lot faster than bullets. So with that high of a speed gap, and the fact that Kiryu was like trained in the Mafia at a much younger age and has been doing this for much longer than Tommy, I think my verdict goes to Kiryu.
Yeah.
Hooray!
I think just when Sean was explaining everything from Kiryu, in fact, people, you'll see the gif I kind of posted. Yeah, even I thought I was cooked. Like, yeah, just that Tiger Punch alone, I was like, okay, yeah, Tommy's dead.
I know some people are saying I could have dived deeper into the Like a Dragon games, but that's just like a free cheat code win, and I was like, I don't want to do too much, but there's some ridiculous shit that I want to show the lads.
Yeah, I think when look at it after learning a bit more about Yakuza 1, I definitely want to check out the game, because honestly, Kiryu sounds like a pretty cool character. And hey, hopefully,
They both sound cool.
Hopefully I managed to convince people to maybe check out the Mafia series. I definitely played the remake of the first game. The original does not hold up.
And to be fair, new Mafia game comes out this year, y'all.
Yeah, I was hoping that Lad's Curse could guarantee me a win. But who knows, maybe Tommy will return as a Super Saiyan in it now. Mafia, if there's one thing we can learn from this Lad's debate, Mafia is definitely the more grounded and realistic story. Yakuza, well, it has a very serious and deep
absurd.
story. Yeah, it's very anime-esque. Like,
Yeah.
you know, just... So do you know what? Deadliest Warrior, the Mafia won that one. They're not winning in the video game version.
Nope.
Yeah,
Plus, I still love my comparison of this matchup with James Bond versus John Wick.
and you know what?
Hey, look, that outcome's still the same.
Yep, nothing changed. Yep, the man with the gadgets wins.
I didn't even factor in the gadgets.
Yeah, to be honest, did he even really need that? Like, let's be real here, did he?
I don't think so. It really just kind of comes down to he's more experienced, is the better hand-to-hand fighter, and like much faster.
Yeah, and
I was bringing in the gadgets because Kiryu doesn't have as many firearms as Tommy, so I thought that would kind of even the arsenal.
yeah, and honestly, just when that comparison alone, when I was like, you know, when you were like, oh, well, Tommy died to a shotgun, that was when he was 50, so was Kiryu, looking up. Oh. Aha. Fair enough. It was like, okay then, yeah. Simply taking a character at their peak did not matter against an old man who was past his peak.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was also like, yeah, I was thinking about them at their peak. Like, yeah, Tommy died to a shotgun, but he's also like dodged it point blank.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have been like, yeah, no, that seals the deal for him.
Plus, keep in mind, Tommy allowed himself to get shot because he knew he couldn't escape the mob family forever.
I mean, that too.
Yeah. Very sad game. It's a badass game, but boy, does it hit the feels. And let me tell you, it's hard
Kind
to
of
play.
like Red Dead Redemption in a way.
Yeah, well, at least
Yeah,
Arthur
both these
didn't.
games do.
At least, you know, John Marston didn't kill Arthur Morgan. Like, you know, imagine playing as the main character of the second game. But that was a twist, actually, because in the original game, you didn't. It was just some randos that killed him. The second game, you had to do that mission. So it was like, oh, okay. So you get to know this character, Vito Scaletta, and you're like, oh, I love this character, man. I really hope there's good things. Oh, we've gotten a job for this other family in Chicago, Solari. He wants us to kill a snitch. I was like, oh no, don't do this to me.
Oh, so it's like Last of Us 2, but without any build-up.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, no, there is build-up, to be fair. It's
Yeah,
just,
but it happens after that.
yeah. Funny enough, though, Vita is in the third game, and you can either just kill him, or, you know, he takes over the crime family and he's all alone. So it's like, he didn't really get the happy ending in a way. Tommy did. But yeah, do you know what, Sean? That was a good game, and yeah, if you're...
Yeah.
I decided to call it quits, because like, we had 6 minutes left. I was like, yeah, I can't think of anything.
And it's a character Sean really cares about. I go for the kill.
I mean, same with me and Tommy, and you know, I did have fun making these fonts, so... but with all that said and done, people, I hope you enjoyed this. But of course, if you're curious about the next time, this is actually a popular, or it's mostly a really popular request from a friend of ours, Yang the Insane. Yang the Insane probably already knows what it is. We are doing the meta from Red vs. Blue versus Cinderfall from Ruby. Not as popular as a request like Cinder vs. Azula, but or is how you saying name? Zula?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? This comes as a close second, and hey, you know what? If it never becomes a death battle, then hey, at least you got the this is pretty much going to be Meta versus Cinder death battle request at home.
I guess.
Yang's like, I want Cinder versus Meta. We've got Meta versus Cinder at home, and it's a lads debate.
It might not be an awesome animation, but it's a bunch of nerds arguing.
Hey, if someone ever wants to
May's
animate
gonna be off his break. Congratulations, man.
Oh yeah. Do we want to say who's repping who?
Yeah, I'm repping the Meta because I'm a big Halo and Red versus Blue fan, and this might come as a shock. Mate is representing Ruby.
I am shooketh.
Indeed. But this is going to be a fun episode. There's probably going to be a lot of comedy, and boy, Red vs. Blue gets really absurd. But yeah, with all that said and done, what did you guys think of this lads debate? Do you agree with this result? I sure as hell do. I mean, after that Tiger Punch, yeah, I was sold that Kiryu was stomping. We got a comment under this video as well saying how this is basically Doomslayer versus the Master Chief. It pretty much was. Like, this is our version, like... What was the last lads debate that was kind of considered a major stomp?
Was it Guitar versus Rain?
Maybe?
Like going by polls, or
actually, no, I think
like,
it was...
polls. It was the biggest. It was the biggest one. But for Tank versus Chainsaw Larry, how can we forget?
That's true, actually.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, that is definitely the one. I mean, in this case, though, I actually tried to make a case for Tommy, and I originally thought he could actually win with the large amount of guns. I was wrong. But with all that said and done, people...
Quantity over quantity.
Yeah. What did you guys think of this episode? Are you excited for the next one? Be sure to share the video around, keep the channel growing, check out these guys, and hey, join our Discord, because we even talk about Lads Debate there. Farewell, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See you!